what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken, and today guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Paramount Presents line. Of course, I just reviewed one of the Paramount Presents titles with Double Jeopardy on 4K, but we also just got an announcement for Red Eye on 4K as a part of the Paramount Presents line. So I wanted to dive into that a little bit. I also wanted to talk about the history of the Paramount Presents line, which started almost 3 years ago now, which if you don't know what Paramount Presents is, it is this right here. It is a line, it's a specialty line of special collector's editions under the Paramount umbrella. So it's kind of Paramount going almost boutique, trying to, do their own version of like Criterion or Screen Factory or Kino Lorber, and they've been going for about 3 years now. So I wanted to talk about kind of the history of Paramount Presents, just their successes, their failures over the past 3 years, and we'll top it off with what I think they could do better in 2023 to really solidify themselves as a premier boutique line, because I do feel like that's the goal of the Paramount Presents line. So yeah, we're going to cover a lot of ground in this video, but before we get into it guys, before we do anything, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We talk about movies and physical media and Blu-rays and 4Ks and owning the movies that you love and all that stuff there behind me. So if you're a fan of that sort of thing, hit the subscribe button. You will not be disappointed, I promise you. And then also hit the like button. Hitting the like button is always a cool thing to do for me, for the channel, for other YouTubers. If you watch a video, guys, hit that like button. It helps us out a lot, so I would definitely appreciate that. And then leave me your comments down below, guys. Like, what's your favorite Paramount Presents title? What do you think about Paramount Presents as a line? Do you enjoy collecting for them? Do you just buy the movies that you want to buy from them? Were you unfamiliar of the Paramount Presents line before you watch this video? Let me know in that comment section below. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first thing I do want to talk about is the Red Eye 4K that was just announced. So this is the first time that Red Eye is being put out not only on 4K but Blu-ray as well. So the last time that Red Eye came out on physical media was a DVD, and this DVD I think came out back in maybe 2005, 2006. It might have been the end of 2005 because Red Eye actually came out in August of 2005. I remember seeing, and this is a Wes Craven movie too, which just makes it even cooler. We're getting another Wes Craven movie in 4K, but I remember seeing this in the theater, and I don't know if I was just expecting something different. I think I was expecting more of like a straight up horror film, like on a plane. Like I thought there was like creatures or zombies or something involved. And then I watched the movie, and it's way more in the political thriller genre, espionage almost, than it is the horror genre. There's almost no horror elements, maybe a little, but almost no horror elements in this movie. And I don't know if I just thought that Wes Craven was directing it, so there would be horror involved, or what I was thinking. But just getting into this 4K release that Paramount Presents is doing, I'll give you all like the full overlook of it. First off, the cover on this is freaking awesome. It's fantastic. It's the image, I think this was in the trailer, of the hand going up on the airplane window. And that's such a great image to put on the cover with the plane underneath it. And you have like the blood red in the sky and everything. And it just looks fantastic. I love the color scheme with the blues and the reds. But then you flip it open, it looks like, because all the Paramount Presents have this little flip open thing, and they have the classic poster inside, which has always been super cool. It's going to get Dolby Vision, HDR10. It's got that flip out poster. And I think on the flip out, it's this poster right here, which is the original poster art. Now, there are no special features announced for this release yet, but I will say there will probably be some kind of filmmaker focus. Again, they obviously can't get Wes Craven, but there's going to be some kind of interview with somebody. I know they'll add in at least one new special feature, because they usually always do with the Paramount Presents, but there are also quite a few special features on this DVD release, so I'm hoping that they include all of these in the release as well. There's a making of thriller at 30,000 feet, outtakes and bloopers, get inside the mind of Wes Craven, the master of suspense, commentary by the filmmakers. There's a commentary with Wes Craven, so I hope they include all of that stuff in this release. And this is going to be coming out on March the 21st for a very steep price of $39.99. Now, I will say that most of the Paramount Presents 4Ks have been coming out at $34.99. I think that price is going to drop as we get closer to release date. But again, I'll talk about the prices here in a second when we talk about some things that they could do better. But that price point is just way too high for a new 4K. I don't care if they think that there's some kind of boutique label or not. $39.99, way too pricey. Now, one interesting thing to note here is that this is originally a DreamWorks release. DreamWorks put this movie out back in 2005. So how is this coming out under the Paramount umbrella? Well, I did some research with this because I do some research every now and then. And apparently in 2005, at the very end of 2005, now it would have been after this movie came out, but DreamWorks was sold to Viacom, which is a parent company of Paramount. So maybe because during that time, technically Paramount was affiliated with DreamWorks under the Viacom banner. Maybe that's how they're getting away with putting it out under Paramount. I'm not quite sure, but I would think that this would be a Universal title because Universal, I think, handles a lot of the DreamWorks stuff now. So yeah, that's a little confusing. If anybody could bring any clarity to that in the comment section below, let me know. Yeah, Red Hot 4K, I'm excited for it. You got Rachel McAdams, Cillian Murphy. That's a great cast right there. I was very excited to see this movie when it came out. But again, I think it was just, I was expecting something else. So I'm excited to revisit that one in 4K. So let's go ahead and get into the history of Paramount Presents. Like I said, Paramount Presents started in April of 2020, and they came out of the gate swinging with Fatal Attraction, Elvis and King Creole, and To Catch a Thief, Alfred Hitchcock's To Catch a Thief. So all great releases. And these all came out on April the 21st of 2020. So, and these are all Blu-rays as well. Now they are Blu-rays with 4K scans, but they didn't get into doing 4K until this year, actual 4K releases, which again, we'll get into that here in a second because that's another point of concern with Paramount Presents. But yeah, came out of the gate swinging. I bought all of these. Like, I was an early adopter of the Paramount Presents. I absolutely loved the To Catch a Thief. Like, this is the first time I watched this movie. Thought it looked beautiful. I would love them to do Paramount to do a 4K of this movie at some point because I think it would look fantastic. I still have not watched King Creole, so I need to get around to watching that. But they're all numbered, which again, for collectors, that's like the kiss of death. It's like once you start numbering your line, it's like we're duped into buying these things forever. But I did skip out on Paramount Presents for a while. There were a lot that I did not pick up that I only picked up recently. And I think one thing with Paramount Presents that I do want to call out is you will always get these slipcovers because that is a part of the packaging and the release. And Paramount does not release these without the slipcovers. Like, every single one of these, like, they're not limited slipcovers. Like, from what I've seen, I've never bought a Paramount Presents title, and I bought some like a year, 2 years later. I've never seen a Paramount Presents title come without a slipcover. I've never heard of anybody getting one without a slipcover. So I believe that all of these come with slipcovers. It doesn't matter when you buy them because, again, that's a part of the actual release. They fold up, they show the poster, all that good stuff. And then they went on, again, in 2020, they released 12 titles. They did titles like Flashdance, Days of Thunder, which I do want to talk about Days of Thunder real quick because there's a lot of people that complain with Paramount Presents that they have put out, Blu-rays under the Paramount Presents line and then later have put out 4Ks, which have completely thrown them off because they're like, I picked this Blu-ray 4K with the 4K scan up and then you put out a 4K. Like, that's not right. They started doing that very early. Like, they threw up the red flags very early because Days of Thunder came out on Blu-ray, Paramount Presents, and they released the 4K of this the very same day. So they let you know right off the bat that, look, we're going to release these Paramount Presents Blu-rays and we're going to do 4Ks as well. So yeah, that was really weird. And I ended up picking up the Blu-ray of this because it was Paramount Presents and I wanted to collect for the line. And I did not grab the 4K of Days of Thunder, even though I grabbed War of the Worlds and Top Gun, which were two other Tom Cruise 4Ks that came out, like, I think at the exact same time. So yeah, I was always kind of bitter about that. I was kind of sore that Paramount made me do that. They made me choose and I had to pick the line because, numbers. So I kind of regret that though. I wish I would have got the 4K, but they'll do that again here in a second. We'll talk about it. They did titles like Pretty in Pink, Airplane, which was awesome, Ghost. So they just hit the ground running in 2020, put out some really awesome titles. Roman Holiday, which is still a movie I haven't watched yet. Audrey Hepburn. The Haunting, just a really cool selection of films. Eddie Murphy comedies like The Golden Child, Trading Places. Just some really cool releases just from all different decades, all different genres. And I didn't even read off, I wanted to read off the mission statement that Paramount puts on the back of these real quick. So Paramount Presents Home Entertainment. This is what they write on the back of every single Paramount Presents title. Paramount Pictures Home Entertainment is proud to spotlight a new line of Blu-ray releases for collectors and fans. Paramount Presents, from celebrated classics to film lover favorites, each title comes directly from the studio's renowned library spanning over 100 years of storytelling. So right there, they've kind of gone back on that. And I tried to go through as many of these as I could. And most of these were originally Paramount titles, but with Red Eye getting ready to come out, they're kind of going back on their mission statement a little bit there, because Red Eye is not traditionally a Paramount title. It is DreamWorks. So they're kind of going back on what they set out to do here, because these are supposed to be original Paramount titles that were put out under the Paramount umbrella. So I did want to point that out real quick. These films have never looked better on Blu-ray, each lovingly remastered from 4K film transfer. So right out of the gate, guys, they were going to put these out. These are going to be 4K scans. So again, we knew that these were going to come to 4K at some point, because if you receive a 4K scan, you're probably going to get that 4K treatment. So I know that Trading Places will get a 4K at some point. Featuring never before seen bonus content and exclusive collectible packaging. So yeah, bonus content. We'll get to that again here in a second. But Trading Places right there, guys. That's the mission statement Paramount Presents. And then getting into next year, 2021, they ramped it up even more with Paramount Presents. They put out 17 titles in 2021. So they were just operating in full force, putting out titles like Court Gesture. A lot of these are ones that I skipped out on because they ramped up so much that I was like, I just can't keep up. And the price points on these were so high, $22.99 for a new Blu-ray. I just got to the point where I was like, I can't collect all of these movies. So I skipped out on a lot of them, picked them up recently when they went down to like $12.99. But we got Elizabethtown right here, which is a cool release. We got Love Story, The Greatest Show. You can tell I haven't watched a lot of these yet. They're still in the plastic. Like I said, I got some of these recently. Mommy Dearest, I did watch this one. I did enjoy this one. That was a cool release. Last Train from Gun Hill with Kirk Douglas. I love this movie. This was great. This is a great movie. 48 Hours, and then they did another 48 Hours, which is one that I did not get. So that's one that's going to be hard for me to pick up because it got a 4K. I own the 4K. So what am I going to do? Backtrack and pick up a Blu-ray now when I already own a 4K just to fill in a line? It's just hard. Like I have to wait for a sale on that one. It has to go down to $12.99. I might just do it because it will annoy me if I'm missing one in the line. But yeah, I don't have number 20. I also don't have 21. I don't have Almost Famous. I never bought Almost Famous because I think around the same time the 4K came out as well. So I was kind of on the fence. Do I pick up the 4K? Do I pick up the Blu-ray? I can't remember. I don't think they came out at the exact same time. Was it the 4K that came out first and then the Blu-ray, or the Blu-ray then the 4K? I can't quite remember, but I know that they came out at different points in time. But I'm on the fence about picking that up because I kind of just want to get the 4K because why not? It's the 4K, but then I need to complete the line. So it's so like Paramount is just, they're doing me dirty right here with these damn titles. A Place in the Sun. Cool release there. We got Bugsy. Nashville, which I've heard incredible things about. I've heard this looks great because Nashville had a Criterion release and they put this out on the Paramount Presents with a 4K scan. So I'm sure this looks better than the Criterion for sure. The Chic. Breakdown with Kurt Russell. Like just such cool titles. Vanilla Sky was a really cool release that they did. Ragtime. And then they had Harold and Maude. So that was 2021 for Paramount Presents. Just killed it. Absolutely killed it. So showing everybody that, look, we're here to say Paramount Presents. Look, we're here to be taken seriously. And then it felt like in 2022, they were kind of at a crossroads. They didn't know quite what they wanted to do with the line. They kind of slowed it down a little bit. They got into 4K, which was kind of strange because they had from the beginning set out to do only Blu-rays with the 4K scans, even to the point where, like, if they were going to do 4Ks from the beginning, they should have done Days of Thunder on 4K. They should have done Almost Famous on 4K, or at least gave you the option between the two. So it was kind of strange that it felt like they were trying to stay away from 4K for so long. And then in 2022, they decided to hell with it. We're gonna get into 4K. So they did Ordinary People at the beginning of the year, which was the 30th one. And then they did The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance on 4K, which was a great release. Like, I was so happy to see this one get that Paramount Presents treatment. And they do a little cool silver spine on these ones, on the 4Ks, which I do like because it distinguishes them from the other ones, but it also makes it look non-uniform as well. So I get why some people don't enjoy that. But yeah, Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, this was, again, it's all in the same style, but this was a 4K release, so very cool. And it had all the same like special features and all that stuff in it, so I did appreciate that. And then they went back to Blu-ray. Like, people thought when they started doing 4K, they were just going to do 4K from here on out. But no, they did a rough cut. They did the first Wives Club as well. I did not pick that one up yet. That's the other one that I don't have. But rough cut was a cool one that they did. Also, Back to the Beach, which I just watched this one, really enjoyed it. And this was, 34. So they showed that, look, we're still going to do Blu-rays. We're going to do a mix. We're going to do 4K. We're going to do Blu-ray. They did Elvis Blue Hawaii. They did War of the Worlds and When Worlds Collide, which is a 2-movie double pack. So just some really cool releases in 2022. 3 4K releases that came out in 2022, but it kind of just felt like they were slowing way down. Like, they kind of, for a second there, it felt like they were going to end the line. But I do feel like going into 2023, I feel a lot more optimistic about Paramount Presents because they did just do this amazing release of Double Jeopardy. I really thought this was a great 4K release. And then they got Red Eye coming up. And they also got Just Another Girl on the IRT, which is coming out on Blu-ray. So they got a Blu-ray release coming out in between the Double Jeopardy 4K and the Red Eye 4K. So they're still doing Blu-rays releases as well. But real quick, before we get out of here, I want to talk about some things that Paramount Presents can do better in 2023 to really solidify themselves as a boutique label, because I really think that's what they want to be. I think Paramount saw in 2020, look, the market is going towards the collector. That is what people care about. So let's make our own collector's editions. And I think that they want this line to be successful. It just feels like they've had some stumbles along the way. So I'm going to help you out real quick, Paramount. I'm going to tell you some things that I think you can do in 2023 to make this line as successful as it could possibly be for collectors, and not just be a joke, because I feel like some people kind of make fun of the Paramount Presents line. I want this line to be something. I want it to be the next Criterion, Shout Factory, Scream Factory, Arrow Video. Like, let's do something with these Paramount films. And some things I think they could do better, guys. For one, they need to add in some more special features, like this little filmmaker focus thing. That's not cutting it. We need at least 3, 4 new special features, maybe a new audio commentary. Like, we need some new stuff, because Kino Lorber's doing some really good stuff with new audio commentaries and featurettes and all that kind of thing. Paramount Presents needs to do that kind of stuff. We need to have Criterion level special features with new interviews, with filmmaker focus, all that kind of stuff. Still keep the filmmaker focus, but add in some new stuff too. Audio commentaries. We need more special features other than just the one. And when they first started doing the special features, it was only like a 5-minute special feature. We need more than that, especially for the prices that you guys are charging, which brings me to point number 2. Lower these damn prices, in particular, especially on the 4Ks. Coming out with a 4K for $34.99 or $39.99 if they end up bringing Red Eye out at that price is way too much for a 4K. Like, your regular 4Ks are $19.99. Fatal Attraction came out on 4K for $19.99, and it is cheaper than the Paramount Presents edition of Fatal Attraction, which is on Blu-ray with a 4K scan. So how does that make sense? How are you charging more for your Blu-rays of the Paramount Presents line than you are for the 4K of the same film? It doesn't make any sense. They need to lower that price point. Now, I understand it's still boutique. It's still a collector's edition. It has the flippy poster thing and all that kind of stuff. Like, this one, I think the price was warranted because it did include that new special feature, or that new movie in there as a special feature. So I think the price was warranted there. But, you know, it's just too much. You need to lower that price point a little bit down to at least $29.99, maybe $27.99, but you gotta lower that price point. And for the Blu-rays, like, lower that down to about $21.99, $20.99, maybe $19.99. It does not need to be $22.99. That is way too expensive for what you're offering. And also release different formats within the line of the same movie. Like, it's ridiculous that they put out Double Jeopardy on 4K and they didn't even give you a Blu-ray option. Why not give us a Blu-ray option of Double Jeopardy in the Paramount Presents line, so we can still keep it within the line with the same number but offer a Blu-ray as well. And I understand they're probably not going to go back and do a 4K of Days of Thunder in the Paramount Presents line. They're probably not going to do Almost Famous on 4K. I wish that they would, but going forward, we need more options. If you're going to do a 4K like Liberty Valance, if you're going to do a 4K like Blue Hawaii, also give us a Blu-ray option as well. Do both, because that's something that Criterion also does. If they put a 4K out, they give you a Blu-ray option as well, because not everybody cares about the 4K, but they may still want the movie, especially if it doesn't have a Blu-ray release at all. These states have for Double Jeopardy. There's that imprint release also. And then lastly, include some stuff in the packaging. If this is supposed to be a special collector's boutique edition, put some art cards in there, put some booklets. I know some people, they don't care about art cards. Put something in here that makes it a little bit more worth our while, because this is a nice little flip out poster, but that's honestly the only thing that they add in as far as special packaging here. So there you go, guys. That's Paramount Presents in a nutshell. I went through the Red Eye announcement, the history of Paramount Presents, what I think they could do better going forward. Overall, I think Paramount Presents is a great line. I really enjoy collecting for it. Obviously, I bought almost every single one of them. I think it's cool that Paramount's doing that kind of thing. I wish that, Warner Brothers would do that. I know they have Warner Archive, but I wish Universal would do something like that. I wish more studios would adopt that kind of collector's mindset when it comes to their physical media, and start catering to the collector a little bit more, other than just putting their stuff out on the Walmart shelves and forgetting about it, or just not putting it out at all. It's like Disney does. But look, I appreciate you guys watching this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Comment down below your thoughts on the whole Paramount Presents situation. Is this a line you collect for that you enjoy? Let me know in that comment section below. Also, turn on those bell notifications for all future videos. Follow me on all my social media accounts down below, and we'll see you next time.